Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen to us so you don't miss any episodes or bonus stuff that we do. I'm Sandra.
I'm Carly, and this week we've been heavy, haven't we? It's been heavy for a few weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
So after last week's comic relief, we decided we would keep the theme going because we plan things like that. You know, there's always a theme and stuff. And we we would take a look at our favorite comic relief episode, and I did no research for this because I was like, I already know what my answer is. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Sandra has 6 pages of research. She made there's oh my god, I'm trying to think what you fucking call it. You know, with the you pit 2 things against each other and then the winner.
Is it like a leaderboard or is it something else? I can't remember. I was thinking about that too. Oh, it's like a heat. Is it called
That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah. I was trying to figure out that.
It's almost one of those.
I was thinking about doing that, and then I'm like, that's way too much. I'm not going to do that because then I didn't know how I would do it. Would I break it up by seasons and then have them slowly? I was like, no, that's too much. Let's just do it this way. So yes, I did rounds. I did rounds of my.
You're making me
process.
Look bad. You're making me look bad.
I had time yesterday, so I wanted to do this, and I was like, okay, you know why too? Because we've talked about our favorite episodes and things that we find funny. And something that just kept coming back to me too was that one episode in particular that I absolutely love and find very funny. You do not, for reasons that do actually legitimately make sense in the context of the whole episode. And that got me thinking, well, what actually is a comic relief episode? What are the components of it that you could really say, this is totally like comic relief? Stakes aren't super high, different things like that. So what I initially probably would have just been like, yeah, sure, that's it. I was like, well, no, let me actually think about what's in the episodes as a whole. So that was kind of how I started down the rabbit hole for this whole thing. And we now have really only 5 pages of notes. There's another page in it where I looked through some articles of different websites that had their favorite, the funniest episodes of Supernatural and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something that would probably really piss you off and, has bothered me as well too, is that a lot of them had season 7 Time for a Wedding as one of the funniest
no
on there. Yeah, a couple of them did. So people just aren't kind of getting, I think, the message
yes, date rape
across.
Fucking hilarious.
So
no.
Yeah, that was interesting too. So I don't know how you want to do this. I don't know if we want to go through mine first or do yours first, because you've already told me you've got 2.
I'll pick a third one out of your top 5. It's fine. Now we'll go through. We're not going to go through and read every single episode that Sandra classified as an attempt at being a comic relief episode.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to just pick out a couple that are on here though. You've got season 14 Lebanon, which is the 300th episode, and I didn't think that was funny at all.
So,
that pissed me right off.
Again, felt like an attempt at being. So I took it more as and this is where we get into the first half of it, I think you could say is funny because of the overall theme or what's happening to the boys in the episode. And the beginning is very funny because you see how the townspeople sort of interpret or have a view of Sam and Dean, Cass and Jack that, we don't. So it's this outsiders looking in, and then the whole changing the whole outlook time frame and the different versions of Sam and Dean, you know, and like all that stuff. So that's why I did say attempt at being a comic relief episode. It does get very
it's overshadowed for me by again, Dean's a grown-ass man in his late 30s at that point, and all he wants is his family around I don't think so. No. And it was a really flimsy reason to bring JDM back. And I love me some JDM anytime, buddy. But that episode wasn't it for me. It does have one of the funniest bloopers, hands down, though. So, you know,
you're not picking your comic relief episode based on a blooper, though, right? Like that's not going to. Okay. All right, that's what I was wondering.
No, maybe we'll do a funniest bloopers episode. Okay. But no, I'm not. I'm picking it based on the episode. But that blooper is fucking hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe
now my mind's gone on a tangent of funny bloopers, pills, swabs, and cream.
And maybe we will share this document just because I'm sure people, if they were looking at it, would have, you know, like, Sandra, why did you pick that? Because like, again, like, I know you right off the bat, like I put regarding Dean, like initially, because the first half of it to me is very funny. Then it shifts into he's losing his memory. He's going to die, like that kind of thing. But there's so many fun parts of it. It's that balance, like again, I keep going back to the word attempt. Like there's a reason why these were in the first round and then slowly get, you know, knocked off, you know, as I went through it more and more. Yeah.
There's only one on here that I absolutely flat refuse. No. No. Can you guess what it is?
I would say Mystery Spot because you really didn't like that one.
No. The Dean dying multiple hundred times was funny. It just
there's another one that's which one?
It's Plucky Pennywhistle. Plucky Pennywhistle's magical nudge.
Okay.
Me and Sam, I am absolutely piss your pants terrified of clowns. They really freak me out. I really don't like them. I have a wonderful supporting husband that says things like, I just don't see what's so scary about them because he's great, you know, love you. And they just absolutely, so that whole, I'm Sam, that whole fucking episode, just like, oh my God, there's clowns everywhere. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when he's in the fight with the two clowns, like, it's funny when they explode into glitter and cover it, and like Dean's like he's like a PCP crazed stripper. That one tiny little bit is funny, but that's because Jensen makes it funny, and Sam's just like, God, if I don't laugh, I'll cry.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is no, and also it's probably not on here. Whatever fucking episode is, where the people put on the costumes and then they go crazy and homicidal. I think it's a ghost.
I put that down. Plush. Yeah. I put that in there too. Yeah.
No.
Again, I think
I put costumes and not. No, I don't like that. Quick detail for story time. My mum took me to Disney in Paris because I've never been to America and I like all my limbs and organs without holes in them. So probably not going to be going to America anytime soon either. But there's a Disney in Paris. It's probably not as fancy as your Disney's, but there is a Disney in Paris. And my mum took me to Disney when I was, I don't know, I'd been about like 5, 6 maybe. Little. And I am petrified of like people in costumes like that. So you can imagine my mum's delight at having taken her, at the time, daughter. She'd be like, oh, magical trip to Disney. And every time she was like, why don't you go talk to Mickey? I cried. And I was like, I don't wanna. It was a source of immense frustration for my mother. So yeah, me and Sam, clowns and fucking people in costumes. No.
Oh, God.
Not even a little bit funny. Do not enjoy.
Okay. Well, then I guess you'll be happy to know those don't end up making it into a final round for me.
Good.
So by the time I got that first initial grouping together, then when I did my second round, so this is when I took out like episodes I didn't particularly think were like great, stellar, could be top 10 comic relief material, and that maybe the plot or the theme was comical, like, but the overall episode wasn't. So by then,
Fucking Regarding Dean made it through,
it
though.
still did, because I was still like, I'm gonna see, maybe I can keep that one in for a little while, and I still kept Mystery Spot in.
Yeah,
and
every season 15 episode that was on there got booted out. All the season 7s got booted out.
Season 11, all season 10s. No, not season 10s. Whoa.
We had Swap Meet and Regarding Dean, and you were like, nah, I like the one where Dean loses memory and nearly dies.
Because I know you really like Swap Meet. Swap Meet is one of those shows. That episode is not like, it's not like in my like super faves. So for me, it wasn't.
Is it because it's a Sam episode? Is it because it's a Sam episode?
It might be. I mean, we already know my bias towards like, you know, certain episodes, but I think that one was.
I need you to be aware that it is at time of recording, late in the well, it's early evening for me. We normally record in the afternoon, my time, and I don't need this level of sass at nearly 8 p.m. Woman, I don't. I'm
particularly sassy today. I don't know why.
And you're just like, nah, just bin that one off. It was so funny, but it was a Sam episode, so fuck it. Right, okay. Well, fine. We'll keep the Dean loses memory, forgets everyone he ever loves, and nearly fucking dies. Hilarious. Yes.
There's Bad Day at Black Rock. That's a mainly, I think, more Sam episode.
That's not a nice Sam episode. He loses his shoe and sets his arm on fire.
But it's funny.
I'm not actually that big a fan of Bad Day at Black Rock because I don't find that kind of slapstick comedy particularly funny.
Okay.
So I Lost My Shoe is obviously iconic, and I love that. And you know what? Even that's tainted. It's tainted in the same way Mystery Spot is tainted by Jared saying at a con somewhere that they put like a metal like hook on the bottom of his shoe so that would hook into the grate so he could like pull his foot out of his shoe and lose his shoe. And he's like, it was really uncomfortable to walk on. I didn't enjoy that. So now that's tainted because he had to suffer for it. But I don't.
Anything that involves like background suffering, or if you get a bad like take on it, it like colors your love of the episode or whatever feelings you had for the episode. If they were even middling, you're like, nah, no more.
But then on the back of that, it also has a really good bloopers episode that, man, it's not a blooper, it stayed in the show. But right at the end, when Dean realizes Bella's stolen the...
Go son of a bitch, and like Jared like cracks up. Yeah.
Jared's face breaks, and it stays in the episode, which is
pretty great. Funny. I think that's one of the reasons too. I'm like, you know, when you can see that in the episode, it's quite funny. Yeah.
There are a couple of bloopers from that. One of them is compiled in it's a compilation of Sam of Jared just being like a big clumsy moose, and Dean Jensen just being like, seriously. So when Sam spills coffee all over himself and like flies out of the booth, and he like just like knocks shit over, and Dean's like, I have a line. Why are you like this? Jensen says that, not Dean. The characters are merging together. We can't do this in the evening because I am not peak Carly. But yeah, so we moved on. So that was, you didn't think the episodes you didn't think were really good, stellar, or could make the top 10.
Yeah.
So then we came down to a third round
where I took out any episodes where it feels like the boys are in like true jeopardy, like life or death, or one of our favorite characters, like side characters, is in major distress. That's when, unfortunately, Regarding Dean is gone, Mystery Spot is gone. Even Yellow Fever, which to me was like a top contender, and I thought was going to be in like my final. But when I really thought about it, I'm like, well, Dean is practically like dying on the floor, like at the end of that. So probably can't, include that one. Yeah, so got rid of Regarding Dean and Pac-Man Fever. Did I miss something?
No, Sam
Okay.
loses the shoe and gets set on fire, and that's fine.
Yeah, because
but Dean is in
just
jeopardy for
the
30
sleeve
fucking
of his
seconds.
jacket that got set on fire. That wasn't like major life or
It's
death
still
jeopardy.
on fire.
No, but that's not
It's
major
still-
life or death. Not for Supernatural. That's not major life or death. No, like seriously. Like I even kept the French mistake in there at this point. They're in an alternate freaking universe, and I still didn't feel like they were in like life or death jeopardy. It didn't feel like that in that episode. Like for some reason, I think they ramp it up a little bit more for certain episodes that I think. Like even Dog Dean Afternoon, Sam gets like knocked out at the end of that, but I didn't feel like he was gonna become that whatever that monster's he wasn't going to cut his heart out and eat it or whatever. He was going to get close to doing it, but he wasn't going to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
refresh my memory on this season 8 episode, the first one that I'm not going to attempt to pronounce.
Hunteri Hirochi, that's the one with like the cartoon stuff starts happening where like the guy's heart busts out of his chest, and so it's all those little cartoon things at the it's the guy in the retirement home who's like almost like catatonic, has these powers, and they have all of these like fun little gags that are very like Looney Tunes in there that I really liked. I thought it was a cute episode that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's that one. Any other one you don't remember offhand?
No, I remember them all now. I remember them all now. It's just
Mint
that
Condition
one.
2?
Yeah. Where's that?
Season 14.
Oh. No, what's that one?
That's the
I hadn't scrolled down far enough.
That's the Halloween episode where it's like Chuck Yeager and
yeah.
So
Scooby Natural's still in.
Scooby Natural's still there.
Still in.
Yep.
The Real Ghostbusters. Which one's that?
That's the
Is
one
that
where
a
they go to
Ghostfaces
the
episode?
No, that's the one where they go to the convention and they meet Chuck.
Oh,
so they're at the I know Becky's in it, but Becky's not the main focus of that. And so for me it was more
she's just there touching stuff. Existing, breathing air.
Okay.
Touching stuff.
Obviously anything with Becky in it for you is going to be a trigger. But it's still a funny episode in and of itself. Especially the way they kind of, give you a glimpse at like what I think what maybe the creators of Supernatural would kind of like want a convention to be. It's nothing like it.
God, no.
I would really, I thought the role playing, like having a case to solve would actually be really fun to have like at a convention, but it would never happen.
There'd be too many people.
But
yeah.
But it was a fun concept, to have in there.
It's worth bearing in mind as well that features 2 queer characters who live. They just go off into the sunset, and as far as we know, live happily ever after. That's rare.
And even again, like the stakes aren't very high in that one. Like they are just not. They're in their usual jeopardy, but it's not like you just don't feel that they're going to.
Nah, it's just a ghost, isn't it? It's fine.
I mean, I think Hookman dies in there. And so again, I'm sure in most of these somebody's dying that still made it to, my final, but like not of our major characters. Cause I took Pac-Man Fever out because that was even though I love Charlie and Dean in that one and them all the little aspects of it, she's also dealing with coming to terms with losing her mother and different things like that. So it's a very distressful episode for her. So I took that out too. Yeah. So I think at this point, what do I have? I don't think I have 10 yet. No, but then in the
2, 3, 4.
In the 4th round, I narrowed it down to my top 10. So
you got 15 so far.
Yeah. So
round 4.
Now I got to get it down to 10. It's like, this is it. I got to get serious now. So, well, maybe I should say what I got rid of. I got rid of A Very Supernatural Christmas because that one felt more sentimental, holiday kind of vibe.
That would have been fine if I hadn't had that scene at the end with I'm trying so hard it hurts.
Yeah.
That would have that's a fun episode.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been off Weekend at Bobby's. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good episode, but I was like, but would it be in my top 10? Probably not. I got rid of It's a Terrible Life. I got rid of Hunter Hirochi, and I got rid of fan fiction because, for me, it's more love letter, thank you to the fans, very meta and all that kind of stuff. So,
There is no singing in Supernatural.
yes,
I don't like that
we
episode.
we know.
I just
you just don't like it. You just don't like it.
It gives me secondhand cringe so bad. So
See,
bad.
and that's like one of the ones that just like you would think it would for me, but it doesn't. Like I don't get any secondhand cringe from that episode at all. And I was surprised by that as well. Then narrowed it down to 5. And then this is where I think I may need your help, Carly, to figure out like what my actual like favorite one is.
Your SOL on this one because only 2 of them would have made my top 5.
Okay.
And the other 3, one of them is an episode that I hate.
I know.
Well, okay. Sandra's 5, in no particular order because she hasn't ordered them up yet, is Tall Tales, Bad Day at Blackrock. Yes, all right, when it's Sam on the fucking butt of the jokes. Changing Channels, The French Mistake, and Scooby Natural.
Yep. And again, this is probably more nostalgia for me, and just you're gonna hate this, but that's the one I'm leaning towards because
I'm not hating.
It's just so out there, kind of like changing channels, but I still feel like Changing Channels still does a lot of plot. Like towards the end, you're getting the plot of it. And even though I think it's one of the best episodes of Supernatural, I don't know if it's like for me would be just pure comic relief. And you could probably say the same thing about The French Mistake, which then to me would kind of leave Tall Tales, Bad Day at Black Rock, and Scooby Natural, I think, at that point.
So I suppose we maybe should have clarified this at the start, because my top 3 they're not the top 3 because they are objectively comic relief episodes. They're just the episodes I find the funniest.
Yeah, this is just my process.
So does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just my process.
Comedy's subjective, so I think it should be, it's whatever you find the funniest. Like I don't find Scooby Natural funny, but I'm just a touch too young for Scooby-Doo in general. Like it was just like I watched it was on and stuff, but I was never interested in it. So it's just like if it was on, it would be because it was the only cartoon that was on, and I was one of those kids that couldn't watch real people TV. Had to be cartoons. Always cartoons. So I was just a bit too young, so I never got it. I never got like the jokes and stuff in it. So for me, I was like, it's fucking dumb. I hate every bit of this. It's dumb. And then again, it's tainted as well because I know that Jensen found it really embarrassing to film that final scene because he was like, we were on the street in Vancouver. There were people watching. I was wearing an ascot, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So it's tainted. It's tainted.
But it's just so ridiculous that I think it's probably like it's. So I think really, if I've got a neck and neck it, I'm probably saying Scooby Natural and probably Tall Tales, because I just recently, maybe a couple weeks back, going through season 2, I rewatched Tall Tales with my husband, and
good episode.
I think it's just so. Like, no matter how many times you watch it, it hits you where it just automatically turns into this, oh my God, they're going so nuts. Like, Ted loses his shit when Jensen fills his mouth with candy. He's just chewing away. And it's so ridiculous to see how the boys view each other and how, like, reworking a story becomes a tall tale in and of itself. And then Bobby kind of getting in the middle of it. And even though then, there is the trickster. Again, even at the end of that, it doesn't seem super high stakes, And I know later on you realize more about the plot, but that's not really plot heavy. So
that's just a silly episode. See, I like that episode. I like the fight. I like the moment when they both realize they're going to fall off the bed. That's like hands down favorite.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not true. Hands down favorite is watching Jensen make out with that girl, because that shouldn't. It's just a kiss, and it shouldn't be that stupid hot. Did you watch? Have you seen The Big Bang Theory? Have you watched The Big Bang Theory?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
no.
So you know the characters of The Big Bang Theory. You're aware of its existence. Okay,
yeah.
So Sheldon, the like asexual weirdo, but he's not weird because he's asexual. Those two things are independent of each other. You know, he's just fucking weird, right? And he gets a girlfriend, and they don't. She finds him very attractive, and he's like anti-touch and blah blah blah. Anyway, they go on this Valentine's Day trip with a couple of the other characters, and it's on a train. So she was like, "Oh, it's going to be romantic. We're going to have a nice meal," and he's like, "Oh my god, trains!" You know. And it's just one of those like comedy of errors, like miscommunication episodes. Anyway, towards the end of the episode, she collars him. And she's like, "This was supposed to be nice and romantic, and you're ruining it." And he's like, "Oh, romance, blah blah blah." And he, like, takes a drink of wine, and like, he's like, "Let's gaze lovingly into each other's eyes," and then like fucking full on stares her down. And then he goes, "Oh, we should kiss. That's romantic." And he like goes to kiss her really aggressively, and like Jim Parsons is really tall, so he kind of like leans down to the actress who plays Amy, and then like, so he's like a couple of steps away from her as he leans in. And then he like steps up to her. So he's leaning down and she's leaning up, and like puts his hands on her arms. And it is just, it's like the most chaste kiss ever. And it's fucking scalding hot. I couldn't even tell you why. It just is. And this is exactly the same.
Yeah. It's I don't know if it's the lighting or what it is, but it's just like, it's very moody, and he's just so like, he's beyond suave in it, you know, and it's kind of like, and if that's how, you know, Dean, like, does Dean really think he's that suave? And it's like, okay, because like in reality, he probably
gets laid a lot,
but he does
is a little bit,
manages to do it. I will say that, like, that one, I wrote a fanfic about this. It's a perfectly, like, it's not explicit or anything. It's just, it's like a teen rating. And it's called The Worst. And all I kept getting into my head was, I kept thinking about poor Starla. And I was like, I bet you Starla is really not, like, what's Starla's backstory? And I ended up like doing this whole like little thing about the case and Starla, and then inserted, a reader into it that ends up pining after Dean, and like there's a whole like enemies or whatever. And I kind of like went from the outside aspect of this reader watching what was going on from Starla, whose name wasn't actually Starla in my story. I think it was Stella, because like they're both so drunk that miscommunications or whatever. But yeah, he's so very, it's like hot under the collar, like, and it's so like simple.
It's
I think it's the touching. This has gotten, we've gone from comic relief to
well, it's very, it's just something. It's so effortlessly erotic.
Yes.
And it has no place.
And no place at all, but it's still, and then you've got Sam coming in, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
and they're still kissing.
And then, and he does that thing, he wipes his lip with his thumb.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, Sam, please.
Yeah, Tall Tales might win on the basis of that scene.
All right.
Tall Tales. Bad Day at Black Rock. Why do you like Bad Day at Black Rock?
I like all of the mishap stuff, and there's so much physical comedy in that. And I know you said you're not big on that. I think that I like it. I like how physical Sam has to be in it. And I don't think you don't get to see, I think, Sam be that physically bumbling, very often. And I think it's fun to see everything go wrong for him. And then sort of like, then it goes right for Dean with like the Batman line is just great.
Yeah.
And, and Sam gets all like snotty with him, like, yeah, you're Batman. It's just like all that. And then like, he's just
Which
sitting in
is-
front of the
you know
air
what?
conditioner, and then the air conditioner catches the fire. He's like, oh man. It's like,
Right.
come on,
Nobody should be able to be that snarky while duct taped to a chair with a bleeding nose. Nobody. Yeah, you're Batman. Nobody should be that snarky.
So
And then he gets set on fire.
Yeah.
He falls on his face. He loses his shoe. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
fucking funny.
it is funny. See, for me, okay. And I kind of grew up with the really like old school movies like Abbott and Costello, like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, the ultimate like physical, comedian. And it just gives me those vibes. And I really liked that. I liked seeing Sam differently. Not that everything was going wrong for him, but I liked that it was a fun concept to explore. And again, like the stakes don't feel super, super high, even though, they're like, oh, well, if you don't figure this out, Sam's going to die. It's like, you just don't feel like that's going to happen in that situation. So, but I think, because I don't want to take up like the whole episode discussing this, at the end of the day, I think it was probably Tall Tales or Scooby Natural. But the more that we're talking about it now,
it's Tall Tales.
I think it's going to be Tall Tales. Yes, I think for
the other two.
Yeah, they're very close.
Yeah,
but different. Tall Tales, I think, is always going to have a special place too, because I feel like it's the first time you start to get to see the boys. I think Jared and Jensen more doing like really crazy stuff, and it's not necessarily out there, like it's not crazy, but it's just the acting and what they're doing is just so not normal that I really liked that. So yeah, okay. Tall Tales.
Yeah.
Tall Tales is my
Tall Tales
top
so
comic relief episode. So now we get to Carly.
I will speed through my top 5. So Tall Tales would have been my number 5.
Okay.
I think it's a great way to introduce the trickster Gabriel. It's funny. It doesn't. It's funny. See, it could be Tall Tales and it could be changing channels. I think they're both funny, but I think Tall Tales just has that edge because it doesn't. There's no like sense of impending doom like there is in changing channels. It gets into like the arc of the season and stuff. And I mean, Sam Parler is funny everywhere, but just ow.
Yeah.
Slams the boot. Ow.
Yeah.
Sam Parler is funny, but Tall Tales would take it for me. My number 4 would be Weekend of Bobbies. I like that episode.
Yeah, it's a good episode and it's fun. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Jensen directed it as well, which is, always a fave. But I just, I don't know. There's just, it's one of those comedy of errors. He's got a fucking demon in the basement and Rufus shows up with a body and then the police are there and he's like, oh, fucking hell. And he's put the thing through the wood chipper and covers his nice neighbor in ick. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of good funny moments. Yeah. And Bobby and Rufus are really good comedy team. Yeah. Yeah.
So my number 3 would have been Swap Meet.
Okay.
It's a Sam episode. No, I don't know.
Talked about how much you like this episode, especially yeah.
There's just something about just Sam trying to pretend to be a teenage boy, and he's wearing that stripy like sweater hoodie jumper thing, and it's really endearing. I don't know what to tell you. It's cute. I like it. It's sweet. My number 2 would have been Yellow Fever. And again, I'm basing this on the episodes that make me laugh the most. So yes, Yellow Fever, it's gets a bit at the end, but I am on record on the podcast as describing Yellow Fever as Jensen fucking about for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
While Jared tries to stay in character. And it's funny.
It is.
The scream with
very
the
funny.
cats.
That's probably one of the best parts of, I think, like the whole show. And especially like when he starts to rant about like, crazy
people, I'll mount the flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love everything about that. And of course, Yellow Fever gave us Jensen Ackles' Eye of the Tiger as well.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So my number 1, I'm sure you could all guess which it is. Mine is Clapping Hands If You Believe. And I'm sorry, it just is. Because it's a whole heap of nothing. in like the Soulless arc, like it doesn't have any bearing on anything to do with Soulless. They were just like, let him be funny for an episode. It'll be fun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have bigger cups?
Mm-hmm.
Dean, did you service Oberon, King of the Fairies? And I know a lot of that was improv between like Jared and Jensen as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Do You Have Bigger Cups was definitely improv. I'm sure I've seen that in a clip recently. Because YouTube is like, y'all need more Supernatural, and I'm like, no, but fine. All right. Like, life to get on with, but fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's just...
Plus, I think it's the first episode where you see Sam knowing his information and you don't take everything so seriously, like about what's happening with him. And I think it, like you said, it gives Jared as Sam a chance to kind of lean into the funny ways that somebody, you know, without a soul would be interacting with other people, you know? So that's yeah.
And then you've got the Dean coming back, and he's caught in bed, and you know, and so puts his hand on Dean's knee, like trying to be like, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I'm being your brother. And you know, I think the fourth kind is a butt thing.
Yeah. The fairy scene is very funny too. Just Dean like zooming in and going nipples, and then getting hit in the head, and then like flying around the the
fight
room
the fairies.
Yeah, fight the fairies. It's all very good. Yeah, I can see that. I can see why.
All over.
See why that's your favorite. Yeah,
all over. Like my favorite scene. No, my favorite scene is when Dean catches Sam in bed, because Jared's all like shirtless and stuff. And I'm like, hello.
And then Dean doesn't sit on the bed like he's about to, and then he's like, no.
But it's the scene the morning after in the bar where he's like, but why? There's nothing else I could do. Why can't I have sex with the hot hippie chick? Your soul wouldn't let you. I'm still in season 6. I'm gonna go back and rewatch.
Still in season 6?
Yeah.
Or you just don't want to get past.
Still in season
you're stuck on.
I don't want to get past Soulless. Stuck on Soulless.
We gotta get you over that hump, Carly. We gotta get you past.
But he's so good.
I know, but you always stay stuck at season 6, and we don't get into the rest of the show. You gotta move past it.
I'll get past it. Let me rewatch Clap Your Hands If You Believe, and then I'll go and I'll finish up the I'm still in the episode where Dean has to be deaf and Sam summons Balthazar. That's literally where I'm at. He's just summoned Balthazar.
Is that
I haven't moved.
Is that the appointment one? Appointment at Samara or something like that?
Let me load up my Netflix.
Because that's the one with Tessa,
it's
right?
Not
Having
on.
to.
Yeah, Appointment in Samara. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one. So yeah, no, I will. Let me rewatch Clap Your Hands If You Believe, and then I will progress forward.
Yeah.
And do things.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Well, this was good. Again, I couldn't make up my mind, so talking it out with you helped. So yeah, we've got Clap Your Hands If You Believe for you, Tall Tales for me for
Tales.
Favorite comic relief episode in Supernatural.
And we'll bob a link to Sandra's document as well, so you can go and have a look and be like, oh my god, why didn't that make the cut? Why didn't this make the cut? And you can take a look at that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess, I mean, if anybody wants to let us know what their favorite comic relief episode is, give us a shout out. Let us know. Yeah.
Leave a comment down below, or get in touch with us on Twitter, send us an email, all that good stuff. I'm taking over your outro, Sandra.
No, I was going to do it, but I was waiting for you to add your usual segue stuff that usually helps. But yeah, so we're going to wrap up this episode. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com, or reach out to us on Twitter at idlingintheletterd_impala. If you'd like to make your voice a male, no one's done this yet, but this would be great. Check the description for a link to send us a voice message. You can find links to our personal socials and our AO3 accounts in the description. And there's also a link to my author website with my original fiction.
So, and also, we have a website now. A fully functional website.
We do.
So,
which Carly has put together. It's great. They did a great job. Thank you, Carly, for handling that for us.
Don't be silly. It was fun. I only went slightly cross-eyed. It's fine. But if you go to idlinginmeimpala.com, that is where we live now. So any merch that you might want to pick up, it's all there now. We're not dealing with spring anymore. It's all through Fourth Wall and the Impala website. So go check that out. There's YouTube stuff on there, Spotify stuff on there. All the links that you can find in the description are also there because it's 2023 and who's clicking around for stuff anymore? So go check out our brand new website. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, leave us a comment wherever you access your podcasts, especially if you're on YouTube. Likes and comments really help with the YouTube algorithm. All hail its benevolence. In the description as well, there's the current causes that we are championing. So if you feel able, you could check those out and give a little bit of a donation. And with that, we will say thank you for joining us in the backseat, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.